Japan announces a new entry system for tourists that affects 71 countries. Are you part of one of these countries? Well, let's find out. This isn't as bad as it might sound, because similar systems have actually been added in in the United States for many years. It's actually based on the system that the United States has. So it does affect you being able to go to Japan, but it's just about pre-screening you before you actually land, because the way that the system has worked before is you could basically go to Japan and the airlines collect information from you and then they give that to the government. So in that case, you land in the country before they screen you. This is just pre-screening you before you even get on the plane. And if they find something wrong before you actually get on the plane, well, they have the permission to not let you board. So the reason for doing this is because they want to prevent illegal immigration. So in past years, so recorded in January 2016, they had almost 50,000 illegal short-term visitors recorded. And many of this originated from countries with visa exemptions. So what are these visa exempt countries? Well, it's basically exactly what it sounds like. You don't need a visa to enter the country. All you need is your passport, and you could enter the country for up to 90 days without having to get a visa. So what the system will do is before your trip, you'll fill out information, they'll pre-screen you. If there are no problems, you could just travel to the country as you would have before. So if they do find problems, they are allowed to prevent you from entering the country. Or they'll tell you to fill out a visa to be able to enter the country. So you still have an opportunity to travel if they have found errors and they prevent you from entering the country, but you would have to go through an extra process to get a visa. Now, I don't think this will affect most people, as long as you don't have like a criminal history and you don't have a history of overstaying your welcome in Japan. You're probably not going to find any problems with this, but it is something to keep in mind when you're traveling to Japan. So what are the countries affected? Well, there's 71 countries, and this is the entire list right here. So if you see your country in this, you will be affected by this change that is going to be added. Now, this change is only being started right now, and it's not going to go into immediate use. Their plan is to put this into effect by 2030. So right now, they've allocated funds for the next fiscal year, which is starting in April 2025. I wrote the wrong date on this. So April 2025 is when they're going to start putting funds into doing research and development for this program. And they expect it to be complete by the year 2030. So basically what this means is that you're just going to have an extra step to go through to be able to enter Japan if you're traveling there. But most of this stuff, it's nothing new. If you're not a US citizen and you've traveled to the United States before, it's basically going to be the same process. So it's nothing ridiculous. It's just a way to pre-screen people before they enter the country, before all of the problems arise. So it's nothing to worry about too much, but it is something to keep in mind for your next visit to Japan.